Yo, what's happening everyone? It's your boy here, Abdurrahim, back again with another great amazing tech video. Well, the video of today it's all about the Tecno Camon 12 Pro. So I thought that today let us just revisit this phone. I know this phone was launched last year and it might be having those kind of spec bump, and the spec bump which to my own kind of aspect I was so pumped to see it. It's the Amoled display. Now for the first time Tecno having an Amoled display. I think it's the first time. Is there any device they have it? None. It's just the Tecno Camon 12 Pro. Having an AMOLED display is something which is a game changer throughout their devices. There is something actually is a gimmick out of the phone. Actually is 720 display. They never changed the display to even 1080. It's 2020 or 2019 Tecno. We really need a 1080p display. Get started here. The Tecno Camon 12 Pro has a spec of 6GB of RAM, an MTK Helio processor, and it has a 3500 mAh battery. Now let's get started on the 6GB of RAM. Now from the Tecno side, we all know that these kind of devices, they are a little bit kind of cringy sometimes. The RAM, you won't get it as how much you're getting on the phone, how they said it, or the device may be not running your apps or multitask the way the RAM you much have, and sometimes it's a problem. So on the Tecno Camon 12 Pro, I think there is a little bit kind of game change, since they knew what's the problem they were facing, or the hardware which they were purchasing wasn't compatibility, which could be a budget smartphone having a cheaper hardware. That's what I mean here. And another kind of stuff is all about the newer display, which is AMOLED display, but the display still stands for 720. Now it might be a game change for the AMOLED, but it doesn't make any kind of big change throughout display. It's like having 2015 or 2016 flagship and using it in 2019 just to impress cameras and stuff like that. Now I think to my own kind of aspect, Tecno went beyond throughout cameras, to be honest, to be sincere. It's like they know how much the game has changed throughout the camera. A lot of people, they use the cameras to take selfies, to take pictures, to take moments, doing Snapchat, doing here and there, and sometimes the apps won't do the runtime with the cameras because the hardware compatibility is a little bit minimum. So I think to my own kind of aspect, for the Tecno Camon 12 Pro, there are things which they're slightly very great and there are things which they're slightly wrong. Now to get the hands out of it, when it comes to the battery side, now I can just put my hands on it or put my hands out of it. Now here is how it happens. 3500 mAh battery. Now we have seen a bunch of devices of Tecno, they're having even up to 5000 mAh battery, and I think that was the last of 5500 mAh battery, somewhere there. And I think to my own kind of aspect, as a tech expert, as a tech enthusiast, I think 3500 mAh battery for the Tecno Camon 12 Pro, and having 6GB of RAM, and having those kind of cameras which they're so spectacular, and the AMOLED display, well, it's really a gimmick, to be honest. It's supposed to be having even almost 4,000 or even 500,000. I know Tecno, you could put this kind of stuffs on work, but sometimes, you know, I don't know, the person who gives you the spec is a little bit nervous. So I think to my own kind of aspect throughout Tecno Camon 12 Pro, there are things which are pros and cons, and jumping out of it, there are people who still uses the device on 2020 and the people who switch the devices already. And I think to my own kind of aspect, let me just jump in on the conclusion. Is this real device worth it for you, or is just a gimmick which you just don't want to use it in 2020? Well, this device is actually, in 2020, it's hard enough to suggest that this device is worth it for you, because it has a little bit minimum spec, and for the price which you'll get throughout this device, you'll spend almost $200 or $150 out of it, and it's not that much 100% worth it. There are a bunch of Xiaomi devices doing amazing, and for a cheaper price you can grab them and they do marvelous, and you just have something on the go. Just get the Snapdragon processors on the devices, I think it's much worth it than buying a phone which just impresses throughout the camera and they can change a display. Thank you guys for watching. If you like these videos today, make sure that you hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, my name is Abdulrahim13. Consider subscribing to your homeboy here. I'll really appreciate on that. And last but not least, I'll be catching you guys on the next one. As always, stay sharp and creative, and peace.